Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Visit Sedona TV. My name is Elfman. Well, now with me was also the same person who was my first guest on the first show I ever did, is Carl Jackson with Sedona.Biz. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Alan. It was a pleasure being your first guest on your radio program. I thought it was a great idea. Still think it's a great idea. You're really pushing the envelope on what can be done in Sedona, so congratulations on that.
Well, that's what's exactly you're doing, is pushing the envelope. One of the things is he is the owner of Sedona.Biz. Our two companies are the newest age of media in Sedona.
I'd like to think so. I mean, I'm sure others may disagree, but at least we can promote ourselves and say we're the cutting edge new media in Sedona.
No, I'll go on record as saying that, because by the time we started, there were other publicists, newspapers that were charging their viewers to see certain segments, and Carl and I both agreed that people shouldn't have to pay to see what is already going on and what is happening in Sedona.
Right, that's right. I mean, it's a different business model. I mean, not that a paid subscription model I wouldn't say is a bad model. It's not a model that I would subscribe to for a couple of reasons. One is, people who are coming on the internet really aren't they're used to getting their news for free. Mm-hmm. They're not used to a subscription model. Unless you're, the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times, it's very difficult to get people to pay for content. The other thing that's people might not know is if you put your content in a paid subscription mode, it's under a password protection. And a lot of times that content is not searchable by Google. And so a lot of your content ends up being lost because it doesn't get indexed by the search engine. So those are two good reasons to have a free site.
Well, search engine optimization alone is what makes an internet site even more successful, because when someone does a search, whether it be Google or Yahoo or any of the many search engines, if your story, your reporter, your publicist is not coming up, then there's no reason for people to click. Carl, what separates Carl and I from other, how shall we say, followers of the same metaphor, we put it up now. When Carl writes a story and there's a breaking story, he sends his reporter, if it's not himself, and he gets it up that night or the next night.
Right. I mean, one of the things that I'm very proud of is that when you have an internet site, you can get news up there every single day. And when you have a newspaper, although the printed paper, don't get me wrong, there's obviously people love the printed paper, but it's just so capital intensive. It's so difficult to get timely news in a newspaper. Just think from the time that the reporter grabs that story to the time it makes it into the paper to the time it's delivered to you could be 1, 2, 3 days. And most people now, most newspapers are having difficulty. A lot of them are canceling, actually. Anyone who is doing daily is really not doing daily anymore. I mean, twice a week, maybe Sundays, those are the types of days that newspapers are going out, and it's just not timely enough. So newspapers, the printed page has a lot of challenges ahead of it, and I think it's going to continue because people are more and more becoming acclimated to the internet. We haven't even seen the beginning of content delivered over phones, like the iPhone. That's something I think might happen in the next few years.
Wait, let me just stop on that. You've also pioneered Sedona.Mobi.
Sedona.Mobi.
For that reason.
Right. There is and most of the viewers probably don't know of that, but there is a whole new genre of web-enabled websites that are formatted for a phone, like an iPhone, like a BlackBerry. And Google, Nokia, Microsoft all are part of a consortium that has created a new domain extension, like a .com. This one is .mobi, M-O-B-I. And when you go to a .mobi site, you're assured that that site is formatted to fit a phone. And Sedona.Biz LLC, my LLC, owns the domain name Sedona.Mobi. And we have some high hopes that people who are tourists coming to Sedona, who want to access a directory of businesses, want to find out what's going on here, want to get some highlights of news, will access our Sedona.Biz site via their iPhone or BlackBerry, and we think there's a lot of advertising potential. And that might take a while, but you have to think ahead for these things to work.
Yeah, and let me reiterate, the news and our sites are all free to you viewers, but what makes us stay afloat is our sponsors, our advertisers, who want and see the potential of our businesses and see the amount of visitors that we get and want that type of traffic. So because of advertisers and sponsors like that who get to have their names, their images, their logos up on our sites, because of them, you get to see this for free.
Mm-hmm. And I think another thing that's probably important to note is if you have a printed paper, that paper has a scope that is very limited. It can only reach so many people. It can reach a tourist once the tourist comes to town or if people are subscribing to the paper. But more and more on the internet, the 3 million tourists that come to Sedona every year find out about Sedona over the internet. They don't find out about Sedona on the printed page until they get here. And if you want to reach those customers and create an impression in their minds for your business before they get here, the internet is really the way to go.
I mean, that's why my tagline alone is tune in today and plan for tomorrow. Aside and to collaborate with Carl, with a newspaper, once that edition is printed, it is printed. Until the next edition, there's no more of that other edition unless you would go to that establishment and if they should have a copy on hand. With our sites, you can do a search for that article, or my site specifically, you can archive the first show that I've done, which was June 27th. With Carl's site, you can do a search for a past article and it'll pull that page up, because archiving is one of the most important key factors with internet.
Right, and I think another key factor is the rich media. For instance, this video. In the printed page, you're just limited. You're limited to your page size, so there's only so many pictures you can put on there. You don't want to usually print in color because it's more expensive. You certainly can't do video and audio. And that's a delivery mechanism, another way of reaching people with rich media that you just can't do on the printed page. And I think that is what gives the internet its natural advantage, is that it's just such a rich media format that is very difficult for print to compete.
And aside, I like to sit back and just look at a video, listen to the video, and watch it and be interactive instead of having to strain my eyes, look at the article, coincide with the picture, knowing what page number. Here, it's isolated. Carl's got several videos. He even has a video segment on his page, which is Sedona.Biz, where you can also see videos, and with his, it follows up with stories to coincide with that video. Mine, we have videos. I have captions underneath. That is, my copy editor is Borowski & Associates out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Thank you to that. But Carl's got reporters, does it himself, that have a very nice story to complement the actual video you're seeing. So I want to thank you very much for being on.
Thanks very much, Alan. I really appreciate it.
And tell the audience your website address.
It's www.sedona.biz. That's www.sedona.biz.
And mine is www.visitsedonatv.com. That's VISITSEDONA TV.com. Or you can check me out on YouTube, on MySpace, Facebook. This is the new way of media. Both Carl and I want to thank you very much. It's been a pleasure having you watch us. And remember, tune in today and plan for tomorrow is not only our slogan, it's how we do business. Have a great day, and thanks a lot.